Colleagues, want to bring this meeting to order. We'll go through the process, as we always do, of acknowledging that this is meeting 69 of the Foreign Affairs International Development Committee. Pursuant to the order of reference of Tuesday, June 13th, 2017, Bill S-226, an act to provide for the taking of restrictive measures in respect of foreign nationals responsible for gross violations of internationally recognized human rights, and to make related amendments to the Special Economic Measures Act and the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. So this morning, colleagues, first I want to acknowledge the sponsor of this bill in the Senate, Senator Andrzejczyk, and the sponsor in the House of Commons, Mr. James Bazan, is here, and later on in the process, Mr. Bazan will get an opportunity to speak to his bill as we go through the process of clause by clause. Many of you have been through this process before, but if not, unfortunately the chair does more talking than he normally does, just to go through the clauses. There are some amendments, as I understand, that the government is going to be putting forward, and so they are listed for you, and so we'll go through those as well. And as is the process, we will go through clause by clause, and as amended or as is intended, they'll be carried, and then we'll get through the end of the bill. I will be able to sign this to go back to the House through special order for tomorrow. So later on today, if we get this done, I will be able to send it to the House. So that's the objective of this exercise, as per the motion passed, I think it was yesterday, by the House Leader. Okay, so we're going to start with clause by clause consideration. And pursuant to Standing Order 75-1, consideration of Clause 1, which is the short title, and of the preamble, that's postponed till the end. So I will start with Clause 2. And Clause 2, as I understand, have 5 amendments. And so I will turn the floor over to Mr. Fragiscatos for those amendments to Clause 2.
Thank you very much, Chair. And before I read the amendment in, I simply want to say, since I hope this is the last meeting that the committee will be having before the fall, Tom, we can come back if you like. I might not be here, but you can come back. But in all honesty, this has been a real collaborative effort on this bill. We do disagree in this committee. We certainly disagree in the House of Commons, and that is just part of politics. But anytime you can work collaboratively with colleagues and find a common path, as we've done here, I think is something to be celebrated. I also want to, you've mentioned Chair Senator Andrzejczyk, I also want to acknowledge Senator Andrzejczyk, who is in the room or is not in the room, I'm not sure. Regardless, it's important for me to do that. This is a real testament to her interest in human rights. I also want to, of course, acknowledge the efforts of Erwin Kotler, who is responsible for putting forward the bill to begin with a number of years ago. With that said, let me first read in Amendment 1, and I propose that Bill S-226 in Clause 2 be amended by replacing line 6 on page 3 with the following, that under definitions, 2, the following definitions apply in this Act.
The amendment, any discussion? Seeing none, amendment is carried. Second amendment, please.
That Bill S-226 in Clause 2 be amended by adding after line 17 on page 3 the following. Foreign public official has the same meaning as in Section 2 of the Corruption of Foreign Public Officials Act. Agent public étranger.
Okay. You've heard the amendment. Seeing no debate, clause is carried. clause number 3, or amendment number 3, please.
That Bill S-226 in Clause 2 be amended by deleting lines 6 and 7 on page 4.
Okay. Hearing the amendment, seeing no discussion, it's carried. Amendment 4.
That Bill S-226 in Clause 2 be amended by replacing, in the French version, line 34 on page 3 with the following: étranger, individu, autre.
Foreign public officials.
Carried.
That
Amendment
Bill
5.
S...
Amendment 5.
Amendment 5. That Bill S-226 in Clause 2 be amended by deleting lines 8 to 10 on page 4.
Okay. Having heard Amendment 5 in Clause 2, no further discussion, it's approved. Thank you. Now we will call for the Clause 2 to carry as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, it's approved. Clause 3, there being no amendments, no debate, it's approved. Clause 4, no amendments. Okay.
There is, Mr.
All right.
Chair. That Bill S-226 in Clause 4 be amended by A, and there's a few here, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
A, replacing lines 13 to 15 on page 4 with the following: orders and regulations. 4, sub 1, the Governor and Council may, if, underlining, the Governor and Council is of the opinion that any of the circumstances described in subsection 2 have, or has rather, occurred. B, replacing lines 18 and 19 on page 4 with the following: referred to in subsection 3 in relation to a foreign national that the Governor and Council considered. C, replacing line 29 on page 4 with the following. I guess the photocopying here.
Yeah, you don't have to read that.
Okay, so the word state be included. Replacing lines 31 and 32 on page 4 with the following.
You might as well do it. Well, generally we do one amendment at a time. So is that the first amendment?
No, it's on the line.
Okay, keep going, Peter.
Okay. Okay. As I said, replacing lines 31 and 32 on page 4 with the following. Foreign public be included in the line to expose illegal activity carried out by foreign public officials. Replacing line 8 to 16 on page 5 with the following. In line 1, foreign public, the word "an." In line 2, misappropriation. In line 3, states, along with any act of. In line 4, which amounts to acts of. In line 5, corruption when taking into consideration, among other things, their impact, amounts involved. In line 6, foreign nationals' influence, the word position, the word authority, the word complicity, and the following line, the government of the foreign state in question in the acts. Finally, replacing lines 21 to 24 on page 5 with the following. Restricted or prohibited activities. 3, orders and regulations may be made under, and then it stops.
Okay, thank you. You've heard the fairly extensive amendment. Seeing no further debate, it's approved. Next amendment.
Okay. That Bill S-226 in Clause 4 be amended by replacing lines 36 and 37 on page 5 with the following. the words any other, to, comma, for the benefit, and or on the direction or order. I can read the whole thing, but perhaps this is more efficient.
Okay, no, that's good.
Okay.
I think everyone has a copy of them, so everyone's following along. All right.
There is in section E, Mr. Chair, the following text be added. The making available by any person in Canada or Canadian outside Canada of any, and it continues, to the foreign national or to a person acting on behalf of the foreign national.
Okay, thank you. Hearing this amendment, no discussion, it's approved.
There is one more. D. Here. Yes. The acquisition by any person in Canada or Canadian outside Canada of financial services or any other services for the benefit of or on the direction or order of the foreign national. And the making available by any person in Canada or Canadian outside Canada of any property wherever situated to the foreign national or to a person acting on behalf of the foreign national.
Okay, we've already moved that. Next one, please.
Okay. We're on number 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
Amendment
8. That Bill S-226 in Clause 4 be amended by adding after line 37 on page 5 the following. Order authorizing the minister to the Governor and Council may, by order, authorize the minister to A, issue to any person in Canada or Canadian outside Canada a permit to carry out a specified activity or transaction or class of activity or transaction that is restricted or prohibited under this Act or any order or regulations made under this Act, or B, issue a general permit allowing any person in Canada or Canadian outside Canada to carry out a class of activity or transaction that is restricted or prohibited under this Act or any order or regulation made under this Act. Ministerial permit. The minister may issue a permit or general permit subject to any terms and conditions that are, in the opinion of the minister, consistent with this Act and any order or regulations made under this Act. Finally, revocation, etc. The minister may amend, suspend, revoke, or reinstate any permit or general permit issued by the minister.
Thank you. You've heard the amendment. Any discussion? If none, it's approved. We will now move to Clause 4 as amended. Shall it carry? No discussion. It's carried. Clause 5. Shall it carry? Colleagues? Okay, so we'll have a vote on that. Those in favor? Those opposed? So that clause will be deleted. Clause 5 did not carry. Clause 6, does it carry? No discussion, it's carried. Clause 7.
I'd like to speak to that, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I propose here...
technically that's a new clause, 7.1, so we will move to carry Clause 7. No discussion on Clause 7. It's carried. Now the new clause, 7-1. Mr. Fragas-Cottas, please.
I move that that Bill S-226 in Clause 7 be amended by adding after line 5 on page 7, the following, excuse me. Duty to disclose, supervising and regulating agencies. 7.1 sub 1. Every entity referred to in Section 7 must disclose every month to the principal agency or body that supervises or regulates it under federal or provincial law, whether it is in possession or control of any property referred to it in that section, and, if so, the number of persons or dealings involved and the total value of the property. duty to disclose, RCMP or CSIS. Every person in Canada and every Canadian outside Canada must disclose without delay to the Commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police or the Director of the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. A, that they have reason to believe that property or their possession or control is owned, held, or controlled by or on behalf of a foreign national who is the subject of an order or regulation made under Section 4. And B, any information about a transaction or proposed transaction in respect of property referred to in paragraph A. Finally, immunity. 3, no proceedings under this Act and no civil proceedings lie against a person for a disclosure made in good faith under subsection 1 or 2.
Okay. Hearing the discussion of the new clause 7.1. No further discussion. It's carried. Clause 8.
I'd like to speak to that, Mr. Chair. I move that Bill S-226 be amended in Clause 8, replacing lines 6 to 18 on page 7 and the heading before Clause 8 on page 7 with the following. Rights of, and the insert is foreign nationals who are, inserting the word the, subject, inserting the word of, an order or regulation. Application, inserting the phrase foreign national. Moving on, under recommendation, inserting the following: on receipt of the application. Moving on, inserting decide whether there are. Moving on, 2 words to be added: be amended, and after the word or, repealed. Following on here, next to the word applicant, ceases to be should be included, and finally, last word in the sentence of the section under recommendation, the word it, and a period. I believe everything else stays the same. I can read further if you like, but
Nope.
okay.
That's good. You've heard the amendment to clause 8. Shall it carry? Carried. Clause 8 as amended, carried. No debate. It's carried. Clause 9.
I'd like to speak to that, Mr. Chair. I move that Bill S-226 in Clause 9 be amended by replacing lines 19 to 25 on page 7 with the following. Under mistaken identity, the first word in the paragraph here should be the word any. Next to the word person, the following should be included. In Canada or any Canadian outside Canada whose name is the same as or similar to the name of a foreign national. Moving on, towards the end of line 2, the words if they claim should be included in between the words may and not. Following on, that, the word that be included at the end of line 2. And finally, the third last word in line 3 should be the word that. Moving on, determination by minister. Within 45 days after the day on which the application was received. That should be the wording read in, or printed in rather. Moving on, section 2A, if he or she is satisfied, should be the wording used. Between the words the and is, the word applicant. Between the words not and foreign, the word the. Between the words issue and certificate, the word the.
Okay.
B is also a new insert, and actually, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I was about to get to it.
And
We're going to get to that.
okay, you are okay. Did we do that with the previous one as well? Because section 5 in Liberal Amendment 10E was, I don't know if you read it into the record.
Oh,
Okay. Mr. Levitt, you've got some comments?
I do. Also, just in the previous clause, in Clause 8, just pointing out that 3 under delay and 5 under new application are new. an additional amendment, so we may want to just, I don't know if they were mentioned in
No.
in my colleague's,
The underline, I didn't see the underline at the, that's fine. So,
Okay, go ahead and read them, Mr. Ferry.
sure. So, all of that applies. So if we can go back and change that, that's great. And as for section 2B here, in clause 9, if he or she is not satisfied, provide a notice to the applicant of his or her determination.
Okay, agreed. So, you've heard the amendment in clause 9. Shall it carry? Carry. Clause 9 as amended, shall it carry? Carry.
Okay, sorry, never mind.
Now we'll go to clause 10.
Clause 10. That Bill S-226, I move that, that Bill S-226 in Clause 10 be amended by A, replacing lines 26 on page 7 with the following: reasonable expenses. Section 10.1, a foreign national. The term foreign national should be included here. Finally, in following down on the page, under delay, I'll read in the full change. The minister must make a decision on the application and, if applicable, issue a certificate within 90 days after the day on which the application is received.
Okay. You've heard the amendment. Shall it carry? Carry. Clause 10 as amended. Shall it carry? Carry.
Can I put
Now
in?
there is a new clause.
Yes, okay.
Clause 10-1.
That's right. I move that Bill S-226 in Clause 10 be amended by adding after line 8 on page 8 the following. The heading offenses. Under offense and punishment, the following. 10.1. Every person who knowingly contravenes or fails to comply with an order or regulation made under Section 4. Moving on. Subsection A, is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term of no more than 5 years. Or subsection B, is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction and is liable to a fine of not more than $25,000 or to imprisonment for a term of not more than 1 year or to both.
Okay, thank you. You've heard the new clause 10-1. Shall it carry? Carry. Now we shall go to clause 11. Seeing no amendments, shall it carry? Carry. We're now at clause 12. Seeing no amendments, shall it carry? Carry. Clause 13. Seeing no amendments, shall it carry? Carry. Shall Clause 14 carry? Carry. Clause 15. I understand there's an
Mr.
amendment.
Chair, yes. I move that Bill S-226 in Clause 15 be amended by replacing lines 10 to 17 on page 9 with the following. And again, for efficiency, I'll just read in the words. In line 2, the word may be included.
Mr. No, go ahead.
Okay.
I think we've agreed that you don't.
Well, I've been
So go
following
ahead.
that pattern, but
Yeah, continue on.
okay, if that's appropriate, then fine. So to begin again, in the under the term review in this paragraph, so line 2, the second word in the line should be the word may. Moving a few words over, the in between the words review and the word concerning should be included. Third line here, between the words report to and together, the following be included: the appropriate house. Between recommendations and the word to, the word as be included, and between the word to and foreign, whether those be included. Finally, in the last line, next to the word nationals, the following be included: quote, should remain or no longer be the subject of that order or regulation.
Thank you. You've heard the amendment to clause 15. Shall it carry? Carried. Shall clause 15 as amended carry? Carried. Clause 16.
I'd like to speak to that, Mr. Chair. The following is moved, that Bill S-226 in Clause 16 be amended by replacing lines 21 to 23 on page 9 with the following. I'll just read it out. The Governor in Council may, if the Governor in Council is of the opinion that any of the circumstances described in subsection 1.1 has occurred.
Okay.
It's short enough to be read out as a whole.
All right. So that amendment has
There's
been
also the
read,
following.
is carried.
Okay.
And now there's a second amendment.
That's right. This is longer, so I'll just do it as I've been doing it for the longer sections. That Bill S-226 in Clause 16 be amended by replacing lines 9 to 36 on page 10 with the following. And the section to pay attention to here is D. In the first line, the word national be included next to the word a in line 1. Right after the word state in line 1, the following be included, who is either a foreign public official within the meaning of Section 2 of the Corruption of Foreign Public Officials Act. Okay. In line 3, next to the word bribery, next to the word the, misappropriation. In line 4, next to the word foreign, the word states be included. Following on, next to the word or, the following be included, any act of. In the next line, next to the word resources and the hyphen, the following be included, which amounts to acts of. A couple of words over, next to the word significant, the word corruption, the following be included, corruption when taking into consideration, among other things, their impact. Next to the word the amounts involved. Following on, after the word the, in the second last line, foreign nationals' influence. There's a space there where the word or is. The word position be included. Next to the word of, authority be included. Next to the word the, complicity be included. And finally, it ends with the government of the foreign state in question in the acts.
Thank you. You've heard
It's
the
not underlined.
amendment.
So just to be sure here, my colleague is telling me just to be careful here. Section C, gross and systematic human rights violations have been committed in a foreign state. That should be Section C.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You've heard the amendment. No discussion. It's carried. With the amendments has been submitted and passed, shall clause 16 as amended carry? Carried. Clause 17. I understand there's an amendment.
Yes. That I move that Bills S-226 and Clause 17 be amended by A, replacing line 37 on page 10 with the following. Section 17, sub 1, subsection 35, 1 of the immigration, and we're going to replace lines 1 to 4 on page 11 with the following. D, and I'll read it out here. Being a person other than a permanent resident who is currently the subject of an order or regulation made under Section 4, after the word act, on the grounds that any of the circumstances, following on, after the word in, paragraph be included, and after C, the letter C in brackets, the following be included, or D of that act has occurred. Moving on, Mr. Chair, in Section E here, being a, and then the following is included, person other than a permanent resident, after the word is, currently the, and after the word subject, the word of. adding after line 7 on page 11 of the following. Section 35 of the Act is amended by adding the following after subsection 1 under clarification. For greater certainty, despite Section 33, a person who ceases being the subject of an order or regulation referred to in paragraph 1D or E is no longer inadmissible under that paragraph.
Thank you. You've heard the amendment to Clause 17. Shall it carry? Carried. So Clause 17 as amended. Should it carry? Carried. As I understand it, that is the end of the amendments. And so we will now go to Mr. Kent, please.
Yeah, just to confirm, and I thank my colleague for his work, just to confirm that the unread portions of each of the amendments stand as presented, as tabled.
Yes, that's correct.
That's right. I just want to be sure about that. There was just a mistake I made where certain sections needed to be read in. It's just an underline at the left side of the margin that I missed. So if any mistakes were made there.
As the written version is also tabled, that's the, this is, basically for the rest of us to follow along, but generally it's the written version that is approved. So we'll now go to the short title. The short title as is presented, shall it carry? Carried. Shall the preamble carry? Carried. Shall the title carry? Carried. Shall the bill as amended carry? Carried. Shall the chair report the bill as amended to the House? Carried. Colleagues, that will bring an end to that exciting part of the agenda, which is to get through the clause by clause and the amendments that were presented. And now I'd like to turn the floor over to the sponsor of the bill, Mr. Bazan, for some comments. As you know, this is a private member's bill. Mr. Bazan, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank committee for your great work, not just on dealing with the amendments, but the work that you've done through the winter on putting together a coherent and effective approach to Canada sanction regimes, the Sergei Magnitsky and Beyond report. Just fantastic, multi-partisan work, and if anyone's watching today's proceedings or wondering why you haven't called witnesses to talk to the bill, because you've already done all that work, and I just can't thank you enough for how hard you put together such a thoughtful and strong case to have this type of legislation. Now, I, of course, have to give kudos to Senator Raynell Anderchuk for writing this bill. I know that it's based upon the work that Erwin Kotler did in the previous Parliament, but she definitely took it and expanded it. It really is about human rights, and I think in the preamble, two clauses that really speak to what this bill does. As it's whereas adding gross violations of internationally recognized human rights as a ground on which sanctions may be imposed against foreign states and on nationals would further Canada's support for human rights and advance its responsibility to protect activists who fight for human rights. And whereas it's important to acknowledge and remember Sergei Magnitsky's sacrifice, as well as the sacrifice of other victims of gross violations of internationally recognized human rights, and whereas all violators of internationally recognized human rights should be treated and sanctioned equally throughout the world. So when we do get this bill finally royally proclaimed and into force, Canada will be standing right there with other Western democracies standing up for those who are being victimized by corrupt foreign officials, and we can't allow those foreign nationals enrich themselves, and not just through corrupt activities, but by violating human rights in their countries. Now, I want to thank Minister Freeland. She definitely championed this. Her predecessor, of course, was not a fan. her and the amendments that she brought forward, I think most of us agree, strengthens the bill. Some places may soften it somewhat, but I think that the offenses and definition of who qualifies under this will definitely make this a lot more robust in how it's applied. And I want to thank the officials at Global Affairs Canada for working with Senator Anderchuk and myself and Erwin Kotler to bring about these changes. Now, I don't need to talk about Sergei Magnitsky and the sacrifice that he made and how he was treated in Russia for exposing one of the biggest scandals and tax frauds in history. But I think all of us have to acknowledge that memorializing him in this bill is important. The work that's been done by Bill Browder, Marcus Kolga, Vladimir Kara-Murza, who we all know very well, and we need to recognize that their efforts, not just here in Canada but around the world, isn't going unnoticed. And I think that Mr. Kara-Murza said it the best when he quotes Boris Nemetsov, who's been here before he was assassinated, that this bill, a lot of people think it's an anti-Russian bill, and it's a pro-Russian bill. This will empower those in Russia who are being victimized by the kleptocrats in the Russian regime. Now, I think that we want to also recognize that this bill got strong support from other communities across Canada and around the world, and the Vietnamese community, the Falun Gong community, the Iranian community as well. Like, they are want to make sure that we recognize that there is human rights abuses happening in their home countries, and that this is a way that we can target it. And finally, I just say that the work that we've done across party lines here will stand in good stead with Canadians and with our allies and with human rights activists around the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bazan. Mr. Vargas-Cados, want to make a few comments, and then we'll wrap it up.
Since this is the last meeting of this session, I simply again want to thank colleagues around the table for all of their work. It's great, actually, that we're joined by Wayne Stetsky, who we got to know in Eastern Europe when we did the trip for the study. I please pass along our thank you to Hélène for the work that she has done here. At the end of the day, I think we have presented a bill here that is robust, that, as I said at the outset, reflects collaboration, but also is a statement of human rights, a statement that is very clear and is general. It does not apply to one particular state, but that memorializes Sergei Magnitsky in a way that makes his lesson and example that much more powerful, because we have a piece of legislation here that can be applied to human rights abuses in very general terms, and again, not just in one specific country. Finally, this is a measure that where there was collaboration, but certainly we've seen Minister Friedland really take seriously this idea of human rights and the fact that we need legislation in place to put it forward. And on behalf of all of us on this side, and I think I can say around the table, I'd like to thank her for her efforts in helping to champion this issue and to, working collaboratively with the sponsor to make it happen. So.
Well, I want to, okay, Mr. Kent.
Well, if I could just echo my colleague's remarks, but I think there should also be recognition, Chair, of your skillful guidance over the past 15 months or so of what we in the official opposition certainly thought might be a bit of an uphill battle. And I think the report that the committee produced, a unanimous report in the name of Sergei Magnitsky, and the bill which came before us today and was constructively amended, is in large part testimony to your leadership of the committee. Thank you.
Mr. Kent. Mr. Stetsky, please.
And just wanted to add my congratulations to the committee. You've done great work on this. This is a very important bill. So I really appreciate the effort that has gone into it, and it's an honor to be here today to see the work of the committee approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Teske. And I want to conclude by thanking Mr. Bazan for presenting this legislation, this private members bill, and the work that's gone on behind the scenes, because I think people don't realize how serious this matter is. When you put someone on a sanctions list for gross human rights, it changes their life forever. And so the strength of the bill and the safeguards in it are equally as important as we work our way through a different way of approaching our work as parliamentarians. And again, it's always a pleasure to work with a committee that what I consider to be very high-end, and I want to congratulate all of you. High-end meaning we work together. We may have disagreements, but we have attempted to take the position that foreign affairs is Canada first, and is not intended to be politics as usual. So I want to congratulate you. I will present this bill as we can through special motion through what we call the back door, and I will do that on your behalf as quickly as I can sign it, and then we'll get on with doing business and moving it and bringing it into law. So again, congratulations. Thank you for this morning, and we'll see you in the fall, very likely. But before I wrap up, I just want to move one little amendment or on motions as normal, that the analyst and the clerk, in consultation with the chair, prepare a news release for publication on the committee's website and for distribution upon presentation of the report to the House. I seek unanimous consent. It's agreed. All right. This meeting is adjourned to the call of the chair.